one more week, at least one more week of hope and chance or pain and suffering, however you want to look at it. The Miami Dolphins are still alive, defeating the San Francisco 49ers 29-17 at Hard Rock Stadium. And we had ourselves a bit of a weird one today. I mean, someone on the internet said that it was like watching the Dolphins play the Dolphins, and I found that quite funny. Obviously, the season hasn't gone the way you'd want it to go for either team. The Niners are in a very similar situation. They have pieces that are there. Deebo Samuel, some great defenders. Jennings is a good receiver. Obviously, George Kittle. Brock Purdy has looked pretty good so far in his career. But the injuries, the different things, it just hasn't gone the 49ers' way, much like the Dolphins, where you get these injuries, and it's almost like these teams are similar in the way where they need things to be perfect, and if they're not, it all hell breaks loose. And for the Niners fans, I feel terrible for them. I mean, as Dolphins fans, we could sit there and feel terrible about ourselves all day long because we've been irrelevant for about 20 years, but I always think, man, the Niners fans, they have it rough because they have been so close so many times, and they just couldn't get it. If you're a Niners fan and you're about the same age I am, around 26, mid-20s, you weren't alive to see any Super Bowl wins. So you've only seen your team get extremely close and not win. You got the Ravens Super Bowl. Yeah, you got the NFC Championship a couple times, the one where Richard Sherman was bugging out after the game against Crabtree. You got the other Super Bowl against the Chiefs where Mahomes and Tyreek, they come back in the fourth quarter. It looked like you had them beat. That was at Hard Rock Stadium. And you got last year, you bring it all the way to overtime in the Super Bowl. You can't get any closer to tasting it. And you can't beat Mahomes. He goes down the field and beats you. I feel terrible for Niners fans. I don't think I could do it. I could barely do it as I do it now. I mean, honestly, since I've had 2 kids now, and I'm focusing on my own stuff with hockey and everything, I have a lot more fun watching the Dolphins, particularly this season, because I'm not so tuned in. I do read the Twitter spaces, the Dolphins fans, because I am interested in it, and I do like making the videos. But I don't watch the game the same way I don't want to say you guys, because I don't know how much the people that listen to me really pay attention to the internet, but like Dolphins Twitter does. I see everyone's ragging on Tyreek Hill today, because before this game, late in the week, someone in Dolphins Twitter tweeted Tyreek Hill dropping some balls against the Eagles and made the argument that we shouldn't be mad at Tua for failing in big games because look at Tyreek. I mean, he's the king of failing in big games since coming to Miami. And a lot of people did agree with that. Some people didn't. Listen, Tyreek has dropped the ball a few times, and he's done it in big games, done it in not big games, and he did it today. So, but he was asked about it, and he did say that having all these vet rest days are really starting to add up. And he's got a point. You go in a training camp, he's not really practicing in training camp, then you get to the regular season, he's always on vet rest or some shit like that. I mean, it's hard to just throw it on during the game and go 0 to 100. Today he had, about 29 yards receiving, and there was I think it was the first drive of the game where they did a zero blitz. Tua gets lit up, but he throws a 40-yard absolute beauty to Tyreek Hill. And the corner nicks the ball, and it could have still been caught, but the trajectory was changed a little bit. It wasn't caught. Listen, everyone wanted to get mad at Tyreek for that. I get it. He could have caught that. That was a tough catch to make. I think it was more about that. If he made that catch, that would have been a great highlight for Tua. Then Later in the game, he gets another chance, and he goes up to get it for a touchdown. It was single coverage, and it goes right through his hands. Another perfect ball. He can't get it. And there was also one third down early in the game where he came open over the middle right off his hands. So 3 drops, 3 big-time drops for Tyreek today, or 2, depending on how you want to look at it. He has certainly lost a step. Is it because of the missed practices? I don't know. I mean, he's getting older now. A lot of receivers start to slow down around this point of his career, and he's a guy that's 5'10" and has made a living off his speed, and he hasn't been able to take the top off of defenses in the way he has in the past. So he's not as fast, and those hands, they come into question sometimes. That being said, he's a great second receiver. Is he a first receiver this year? I don't know. Tough day for Tyreek Hill, though. And then on the other end of it, you have Tua Tagovailoa. How did our quarterback perform today? He was pretty good. He got his 100th career touchdown. Obviously, that one was to Mr. Tyreek Hill. So Tyreek does do some good, gets our only, no, not our only, because later on Devon Achane got one. One of our only offensive touchdowns in this game. Because other than that, I mean, Tua played well, but just couldn't finish the drives, couldn't get those third downs when we needed them. But Jason Sanders came through, sailed some balls right through the uprights. He hit 5 today. This game did remind me of that Dallas game where he hit 5. And once again, Jason Sanders is coming through for us out of nowhere. I'm the biggest Jason Sanders hater of them all. At least I was, but the past about half this season, he's been lights out, making all the 50-yarders. Obviously, a missed extra point last week. I'll overlook it. 5 makes today. So Jason Sanders, one of the 3 stars of the game. And other than that, offensively, it was decent. It was decent. And then you have Devon Achane sealing the game. One more first down and it's over. The perfect time to get a game-ending touchdown because so many guys are in the box that if you could get to that second level, you could be gone. And Devon Achane takes advantage, gets through the hole, and he blows by everybody. Number 7 for the 49ers. Tried to get a flag there on Hill. Didn't come down. Achane, 50 yards. Ball game. That was a beautiful run. And Devon Achane has had a great game and a great season. A lot of times those rushing holes aren't there, but Achane has found a way. He's broken a lot of tackles, and he's been decently durable. He's had that one concussion. Other than that, he's been there. So Devon Achane, he looks to be the number 1 running back heading into next season. Mostert, he had a good run today, but he's had a tough year. Tough go of it for Raheem Mostert. But Devon Achane, he looks the part, man. He's looking great. He is the MVP of this game for certain. I believe he had almost 70 yards receiving and over 100 rushing, including that long touchdown to put the game away. And then we swap over to the defensive side of things for the Miami Dolphins. The name of this defense is that they're too soft. And I'll be honest with you, this safety group, really the whole secondary, they've looked soft. Once again, I'm not going to lie to you, they looked soft. Including Javon Holland. He gets bowled over by Deebo Samuel and 2 other guys. We had 3 guys. It was 3rd down and 8. Ball goes to Deebo Samuel. 3 guys there could have made the play. Deebo bounces off all of them. Holland isn't strong enough to make the play. And Deebo goes to the end zone. I've been shitting on Holland all year. Once again, sure, he's a great guy, but I let that guy fucking walk. You gotta let him walk. He is not good. And my heart did break for him on the last drive of the game where it was 4th and 1 and they threw that little out. He had a pick 6 in his hand. And it wouldn't have changed my mind on Javon Holland. It wouldn't have all. But that would have meant so much for him if he could have got that pick 6 and he had it. And you could see that look on his face, man. He'll be thinking about that one all night. All night, man. I've been there, Javon. I've been there. But he has had a rough go of it this season. And that continued tonight. Obviously, we only held San Fran to 17 points. That was 7 of them. The other one was Duke Riley. He blew his assignment. Tight end gets over him. easy pitch and catch. And other than that, the defense was pretty good. I mean, you got Kader Kohou with pretty much was the game-sealing interception. I mean, Brock Purdy gets absolutely hammered by Calais Campbell, and Kohou gets the interception. So much needed. So much needed for this secondary. They needed a pick, and Kohou gets it. And it was thrown right to him, but nonetheless, I was very happy for him because he's an undrafted guy, and, he deserves it. He's played hard, even though maybe he's not the best corner. He made a play, so good for him. On the other end of it, obviously, Chop Robinson. He looks like he's going to be a star. Zach Sealer, another good game for him. And then Jordan Brooks, he's been pretty good as well. Those are the guys on defense who've played pretty well. Jalen Ramsey as well. I forget about him because, he covered his guys well enough to where you didn't really see much of them today. But on the defensive side, you hold the Niners to 17 points. Could have been better. Could have been worse. You get the job done. And offensively, you get 29 points. It's a pretty good game for the Dolphins. And it feels good to see them beat a team that you should beat. I went into this game thinking the Dolphins were going to lose. They were underdogs as well. Dolphins were, on paper, supposed to lose this game. And I agreed with the bookies. All right, I agreed that the Niners should probably win this game by about 2 points, maybe a last-second field goal. Dolphins proved me wrong. They proved the bookies wrong. They get the upset win at home, headed into Christmas. The season's still alive. Listen, probably not going to make the playoffs, but do you really want to go into Buffalo and watch the Dolphins play the Bills in January? I mean, I'd be open to it. I would be there for it. I'd love to see it, kind of, but, do you really want to see that? Where the Bills, they start their march to the Super Bowl by beating us again? I don't know. I can't take that. But the Miami Dolphins get the win. Season's still alive. You need a lot to happen. You need the Broncos. You need you need losses. You got to beat the Browns next week. That's going to be a tough one in itself. You're going to the cold, man. It's going to be cold. Another test in the cold for Tua Tagovailoa. And that's it. All right, it's Christmas time. All right, I still got to go Christmas shopping. I got to do that shit tomorrow. I got to go after work. I've gotten like 3 gifts so far. See, that's the problem with Christmas, man. I hate shopping for people. I don't want to get a gift card because what am I going to blow $50 on someone I barely know? Is that being cheap? I don't know, but I'm not giving you a $50 gift card. I'm going to buy you a $20 knickknack because that's me. That's what I do in this current economy. But man, yeah, Christmas time. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. Hopefully Santa brings you whatever you want. Or he doesn't. Or you're just sitting there in your 1-bedroom apartment, no one to talk to, and you're just going to kind of sit there alone on Christmas doing nothing. I don't know you. I don't know your story, but hopefully you have a Merry Christmas anyway. All right. We're finna the fuck up, baby.